And for me, it's kind of depressing because, the question's always been, why aren't there more women in comedy? And I think the honest answer is because of sexual assault and, predators like Louie C.K., you have to think this guy is an abuser and doesn't really repent for what he's done. And
jokes around sleazy, funny sometimes. Actually being sleazy and a sexual deviant, not okay.
G'day, you good motherfuckers, the Buttsman here. Hope you're doing well. And ladies and gentlemen, I was just at the vet. A bit of a checkup for my pooches. And whilst I was waiting there, sitting in the seat, minding my own bearded business, I saw a story come up. And a story came up about a recent announcement by the most famous comedian who is alive today. The guy who is up there with all of the greats, Louie C.K. Now, I thoroughly enjoy Louie C.K.'s stand-up. He basically attacks everyone. It's great. It's very, very funny. That's my type of humour. Now, he decided to make an announcement that he was doing a world tour, if you will. And two of the places that he said he would be visiting that I was excited about was Australia and New Zealand. It's very rare that these massive comedians come down to this part of the world. It's a fucking 100-hour flight, no wonder. Now, there are some people who were very excited about that. If you look at the Facebook posts about the trip, everyone's pumped up. Everyone's like, yes, I got sent it a heap of times. I got tagged in it. But there are some people who are upset. And this is what I saw. I saw a news article about a gentleman in New Zealand who is very, very angry that Louie C.K. is heading to NZ. Guy Williams slams abuser Louie C.K.'s tour of New Zealand. Now, who is Guy Williams? I don't know who Guy Williams is, but Guy Jones Williams is a New Zealand comedian and television personality. Williams was a co-host of a satirical Who Gives a Shit. Now, he was very, very angry that Louie C.K. was coming to New Zealand. Now, this is a comedian angry that another comedian's coming. So why would he be mad? First of all, if you don't know, Louie C.K. back in, I think, the early 2000s, very, very early 2000s, I think 2001 or 2, that rings a bell. So we're talking 20 years ago. He did some very dodgy shit. Very fucking dodgy. Here, it's in the article. It's talking about the New York Times article that basically broke this story. In 2002, Louie C.K. was said to have exposed himself in front of 2 female comedians in 2002 and masturbated while speaking to a female comedian over the phone and asked to masturbate in front of another comedian who declined in 2005. Now, this was a massive story when it broke because Louie C.K., this guy that a lot of people didn't like because his style of stand-up was offensive. He basically was jerking off in front of people. And when this story broke, people were like, that's gross, that's disgusting, that's just horrible. And I tend to agree. I know that if I was a woman at a workplace, which a comedy room or comics are weird, right? Because where they go to work, everyone's drinking, they're drinking, people might be taking drugs, whatever. It's a strange workplace. It's very, very different. But still, you don't want to be having people jerk off in front of you. But what people didn't know and what people didn't really understand about that situation, and people didn't find out about it until it really came to light, that every single person that came out and said that Louie did this in front of them, he asked them if he could do it, and they said yes. The person that declined to allow him to do that, he didn't do it in front of. He didn't trap them. He didn't say he didn't lock a door. He just did it. And it's still gross and it's still weird and it's still fucked up. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see anyone jerking off, all right? But apparently the comedians involved, and you can hear these stories all over YouTube, apparently it was a long-running joke. Apparently people thought it was quite funny. Did it have malice in it? I don't know, but it was still gross and people were still rightfully upset. Now, Louie has never denied these things. He's just basically come out and said, yeah, it was fucked up and I'm sorry. Like, it was a bad thing to do. And I'm sure that all of us have things that we regret doing and we look back on and go, that was gross or that was stupid, that was dumb. I wish I didn't do it. And that's part of being human, I guess. So here's the question. Do we then cancel him for everything, forever? Do we stop him going into countries because he did something that was completely gross, but 20 years ago? Guy Williams, whoever the fuck he is, thinks yes. Guy Williams has hit out at controversial US comedian Louis C.K.'s recently announced tour of Aotearoa, which is the New Zealand name for New Zealand. There you go. Which is scheduled for November. Speaking on AM on Wednesday, a morning breakfast show. Geez, Chris, you're killing it. The New Zealand comedian said it's kind of grim. Louis C.K. has brushed away the sexual misconduct allegations levelled against him in 2017. Did he brush them away? He had, 5 years away from stand-up comedy? This is his first tour of the world since then. Maybe less than that, maybe 3 years away. He didn't make any money for that entire period of time. He was very apologetic. Still doesn't take away from the fact that it was gross and it was wrong and it was disgusting. But do we then say this person can never make a living again? Do we then say that this person can't go over here to do this or go over there to do that? They have to be cancelled for life? Is that appropriate? Is that the appropriate punishment for someone jerking off in front of people who gave him permission to do it? Something that's absolutely gross and not necessary, but is it the appropriate punishment? I think at some point you got to go, okay, that was the older version of Louis C.K. It was gross, don't ever do it again. If he does it again, okay, then fuck him off. But can we not forgive a little bit? Can we not allow people to make mistakes and learn from them? Isn't that the whole point of making mistakes? It's why toddlers learn what hot and cold are, or sharp and dull are, or that rocks hurt when you walk on them in bare feet. You learn those things, you make those mistakes, and hopefully you're not dumb enough to do them again, or you work on yourself and you don't do them again. Louis C.K. has not denied the allegations, releasing a statement shortly after they were published saying these stories are true and there is nothing about this that I forgive myself for. Okay, he's said, yep, fucked up, bad, naughty, bad. Williams said to AM host Melissa, who cares? It's kind of grim because Louis C.K. is probably the best comedian in the world. And he's kind of brushed away these very serious allegations against him. For me, it's kind of depressing because the question has always been, why aren't there more women in comedy? The answer is because not as many women are as funny as men. Sorry, deal with it. I think the honest answer is because of sexual assaults and predators like Louis C.K. And no, that's not it at all, Chris, you fuck. It's because less women decide to do that sort of job. I've seen very funny female comedians, all right? They exist. They are funny people. But there are less of them than really funny male comedians, all right? Let me put it this way. Look at all the most famous comedians in the world. The actual really good ones, not the ones that pretend to be autistic just to get fucking time on stage. Look at them, all right? Look at the really, really famous, really, really good ones. How many are men? How many are women? Okay, there's your answer. Because men don't have what women have. Women are, I know this is fucked up to say, but women don't need to have that much of a personality to attract a mate. Men need it. If you're not blessed with supreme uber genetics, you better be fucking funny, or you better have money, or no one's gonna wanna fuck you. Ladies, you have this beautiful and supreme benefit of being female that allows you to have anyone want to mate with you, fuck you, or marry you just because you're a woman. If you're above a 6, you're guaranteed to find a mate. But as for men, if they're boring, if they're dull, and if they're not funny, then they're shit. No one's going to want to fuck them, no one's going to want to marry them, and they don't fucking procreate. So it is an evolutionary advantage for a man to be funny, not the other way around for the ladies. Sorry, and that's why you suck at comedy. Suck a dick. The other bloke, Chris, starts talking about people going to watch the show. People go, I find him funny and I'm going to watch the show. But I think anyone trying to buy tickets, you have to think this guy is an abuser. He really doesn't repent for what he's done. He's tried to suppress the allegations against him for so many years. Is that true? Has he tried to suppress it? I don't know. But he certainly he certainly copped it on the chin. He's done wrong. He's he's left the fucking business. All right? He said sorry. What more can he do? He also isn't like, it's not like he's fucking Bill Cosby or Kevin Spacey, okay? First of all, he asked them, is it okay? Still creepy. I wouldn't do it. But he's asked them. And he hasn't locked them in a room or held them down against. He is not the same as fucking Bill Cosby. He's just not. So why do we cancel him forever? Why do we want to lock him up and throw away the key? Is that fair? Again, I think we have to forgive people when they own what they did wrong, and then, especially if it was 20 years ago, and they try to move past it. Obviously, it depends what they've done. If they're a fucking pedophile, then okay, they're dead forever. But my point is, I guess he hasn't broken the law. There were no charges leveled against him. So maybe this is one of the situations we can, learn from. I know that if there was a female comedian out there, not an ugly one, but if there was a female comedian out there that started fingering herself in front of me, I would go, okay, that's not great, but I'd probably get past it. But I guess men are just more forgiving than women. I guess I have an ulterior motive for this video because I've been cancelled, all right? Not for fucking jerking off in front of people in green rooms, but I've been cancelled for the jokes that I've said. In New Zealand, the Christchurch joke. People fucking hated me for that. I got literally 60,000 DMs on Instagram, all death threats. All right, that's serious, 60,000. You know when you reload your message requests? I did that, deleted it, and it just kept fucking going every single day. 60,000. People don't want me to come back to New Zealand. There was a petition from fucking in New Zealand saying, no, don't bring Isaac Butterfield back. It got like 20 signatures, so you're not really trying very hard. But I understand why. But what you got to understand about me is there is no malice in any of my jokes. The real me sits at home with my wife and my dogs, and we try and be the happiest people that we can. We look after our neighbours and our family, and we love everyone around us. We live in a very multicultural suburb. We love all our neighbours no matter what, but we make fun of everyone. We say fucked up things to make fucked up people laugh. That's what comedy is all about, and I guess that is the overarching thing here. Sometimes the best, the craziest, the most insane comedians, like Louie CK, are a little bit fucked up, and we just hope that they learn from it. In saying all of that, let Louie come. Bad choice of words. Let Louie arrive in New Zealand and do his shows, and if you don't like it, don't go. The same goes for me. I will also be in New Zealand around the same time as Louie CK. So I'm pretty fucked, to be honest. Come and see me in Hamilton on the 21st of September, Auckland on the 22nd, and Wellington on the 23rd of September. Ladies and gentlemen, New Zealand, I can't wait to come back for my first time in 3 fucking years. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. This Peace in the Middle East t-shirt comes out on September 11th. That'll go down well. Toodaloo, au revoir, bye-bye.